Happening, people, it is time for the drop. We are live at Cactus Music World headquarters. If there is a better streaming show about new music and vinyl, tell me where it is. Show me the receipts. Quinn Bishop, my man, and he has the list. Come on, buddy.
We got a list. All right, let's kick it off. Let's talk about free live music this weekend at Cactus Music, 1 p.m. on Saturday. You can see, and I rarely say this, the Australian band Valerie Trails on the Cactus stage.
Come on.
And this is an interesting thing. This is a band. Our friend and Andrew Bauer. He lived and worked in Houston for a long time. He's Australian, and he would kind of curate. We would do prior to South by Southwest. You know, all the Australians would fly into the U.S. through Houston and then go to Austin. So we would do like an Australian showcase at the record store, right?
Nice.
And it ended up scaling up so big they ended up doing it at a club or whatever. But he's a great guy. His band's terrific. And so he's back in Houston for a little while and wanted to do a gig for all of his friends, a daytime gig so that everybody
come on, daytime gig, Saturday. And, what time?
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Complimentary St. Arnold beverages. I'm looking at the fridge right now. It is loaded up, ready for you to come have one.
You shouldn't have told me that.
And I can't show you the record because they're bringing it with them. It's hot off the presses. So
Caliente.
So come on out. All right, let's talk about some new releases.
Let's do it.
And man, this is just going to be a big one. I think this is the breakthrough record for this artist.
Okay, let's go.
This is the 5th album from
I know
somebody was excited. Did you hear that?
Very excited.
This is the 5th album from Atlanta recording artist. This is Fay Webster. This is her, and it's hard for me to say this title because I have PTSD from the time that I was underdressed at the symphony.
Yes. Yes.
So new record from her, and if you haven't caught up with it, indie, they throw everything in the indie pop bucket, but a singer-songwriter, very cool, man, and you keep hearing her tunes. I guess her big
what is that? That's our producer's phone.
It's our new Amber Alert portion of the program.
For when there's a hot record.
That record is hot.
Hot record.
I guess her big breakthrough moment was one of her tunes was featured on the Obama playlist, like 2020 maybe.
And that's what got her some recognition.
But her career trajectory has been like this, and I think this record is gonna. You were listening to this.
I was listening to it earlier, yeah, and I think "But Not Kiss," and that's B-U-T, only one T, "But Not Kiss." I got a little Kate Bush vibe there.
Yeah.
And then there's another track, I believe it's Lego Ring featuring Little Yachty.
It's a good track.
Sounded kind of St. Vincent.
Yeah. And she went to school in Atlanta with all these hip hop guys. So she's always been like keen with those guys in that community. Here's the other crazy thing, but do you know this about her?
No.
She's a yo-yo obsessive. She's like a professional yo-yo person. Has a signature. You know how you want a signature guitar?
Yeah.
You want to have like your own. She's got a signature yo-yo, man.
Yeah,
she's way ahead of you.
Like a Duncan Indie Imperial.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Remember that when those guys would show up at the
at the I liked the butterfly one.
Butterfly,
remember that one?
Yeah.
And then you had the one you put the battery in and it lit up.
You know what? Maybe we'll try.
You know how many people got hit in the face with that thing?
Maybe we'll try to have Fay Webster here, and we can have an in-store /
yo-yo off.
Yo-yo.
Bring your yo-yos, kids. That's fantastic.
Yo-yo display of strength.
Yes.
Feats of strength with the yo-yo.
Thunderdome rules. 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Oh man. Okay, next up. So
I don't understand this.
This is Liam Gallagher and John Squire from Stone Roses, first collaboration between vocalist of Oasis, Stone Roses. There's only 2 tracks out there. This thing drops tomorrow.
Yeah,
2 tracks
Mars
from
to Liverpool and Just Another Rainbow are the 2 tracks that are out.
I think if you like either of these guys, it's like straight down the middle.
It's straight down the middle. It's
guitar heavy.
It's less Liam. I think it leans more John Squire, but
I think so too.
But it's good.
It's rocking.
Both of the tracks are really good.
Yeah, it's strong. The cover's cool.
Cover's very cool.
Cover's cool. The funny thing, so here's what I thought, and don't tell Liam this because he'll flip out.
Sure.
Doesn't the cover look?
Who is this person? Here, hold this. That's my phone. Keep going.
I think the cover looks a lot like a Blur album cover, which would probably annoy Liam to no end, right?
Good point.
So that's what we got there. I'm jumping ahead. I'm going straight on to.
I'm gonna get punched in the face by Liam Gallagher.
No,
Jesus.
He punched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the face.
That's
right?
It's
like
I would say that was a kick to the Grundies.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
New record from Bruce Dickinson. This is his 7th solo record. I didn't know he had made that many records. His first since 2005. You know, one of the signature, most distinctive vocalists in
Hands
metal.
down. Not even close.
And he's does so much music it can't be contained with just his rock and roll band.
Yeah, and I mean, if you like Maiden, but you've never heard any of his solo work, and I've heard a couple of things over the years, it's not a radical departure at all.
No, not at all.
I think the difference here is the band plays in a lower tuning.
Yeah.
So
it's sonically, it's like clean, it's like cleaner, and it's it's like a more spick and span production.
Yeah. But like lyrically, it's not wildly different than what you would find on Maiden. No. So if you want a little extra. And
he has a longtime producer collaborator, this Roy Z guy. He kind of works with over and over. So, but I'm looking. Yeah, he might tour for that. Okay, we had our classic, our like modern era Britpop guys have a new record. How about this? From the brink of oblivion, there's a new modern. New modern English record. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
These are the I Met With You guys.
Right.
Saw them, back in the day a few times. They're pretty great. This record is solid.
It's solid.
It's really solid.
I was listening to it.
I thought it was great. I thought I was like, I'll listen to a couple of songs.
I had zero expectation.
Yeah. Really great. Yeah. Really great.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of all of that era, you're gonna dig it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad they did this because man, it sounds cool.
And they have one of the great classic albums of that era, that After the Snow record.
Of course.
Solid top to bottom.
Solid top to bottom. And you got a lot of bands that today that kind of like that it was either their dad or big somebody in the family exposed them to their 80s record collection, and you can kind of hear it in their music. Mm-hmm. But these are the guys from the 80s doing their music. They're doing it well.
And maybe we'll get to see it.
We see it. I would see that 100%.
Okay, we're going rootsy we're heading north. We're heading north of the border to Canada to Mr.
Oh, I didn't know he was Canadian.
Oh yeah, Corb Lund. He's a rancher. He's like full.
Is he really?
Yeah, full blown rancher guy.
I like it.
I love the name of his. Do you know the name of his band?
No.
The Hurtin' Albertans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So really great country writer. He only makes a record pretty much every year, but doesn't tour all that much down here just because he's running a ranch up there. But great singer, great writer. And this record's very stripped down. It's all acoustic, recorded in his living room with just mic set up. There's a lot of songs about gambling on here. There's like 4 or 5 songs about gambling. Let's see.
We got gambling, a lot of free time when you're drinking. A rancher in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the good topics, though.
He always has a distinctive perspective on his records because it relates to like being alone in the on the plains up there. So this record's called El Viejo, which means the old one, and that is a nod to the great Ian Tyson, who wrote 4 Strong Winds and a bunch of big tunes that just passed. So
I'll tell you, this is my first time listening to Corb, and I liked it. So I don't know what Holler is. I guess it's there are no magazines anymore. It's got to be a website or some sort of social media. Anyway, El Viejo is a testament to that old outlaw tradition of stripping away all the BS and just letting the tape roll.
I like that.
Who doesn't like that? Strip down, baby. Okay.
Okay. We have Gracie Abrams really had a breakthrough year, opening for That
It's all you.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Yes.
Anyway, so if you got a hot record, you want to do like a stopgap thing to keep your name out there while you work on your next record. So this is a live. This is the Good Riddance acoustic shows live. This is a record Gracie Abrams and Aaron Dessner from the National, who had produced her record. It's on very, very limited edition, a magenta colored vinyl. This thing will be gone pretty quick.
What do you think? Do you like
it's
it?
Cool. Yeah. Her voice is, it's that, it's got that, and she doesn't sing like her, but it's got that kind of in your ear Billie Eilish thing where it's just kind of very like, she's really singing quiet.
Soft,
she's got a pretty voice. Here's a little bit of trivia. J.J. Abrams' daughter.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So film fans.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Next up, record. I love the last record.
Yeah.
This record is blowing my mind. I love it so much. This is the Jahari Masamba unit, and this is two guys named Madlib and Kareem Riggins.
By the way.
Two incredibly music. I mean, their record collections probably wouldn't fit in our store.
No,
like those
exactly
guys are so musical, and Madlib, both well versed in hip hop and jazz music. It really comes through on this. This thing is so cool and vibey. It reminds me of like a live 50s jazz record, and at times it's very.
Does it have the beats?
It's got the beats.
Okay,
and it's very jammy. At times it reminds me of like Ramsey Lewis, like the in crowd. Where like the piano's kind of driving.
Right.
Put this thing on.
Dude,
listen to the whole thing.
Now
and listen to it again. It's really good. They call their music. Technically, it's kind of free jazz. It's very spiritual and kind of improvisational.
Yeah.
They call it black classical music, which I think is kind of cool. Let's go with that.
I'm gonna go with it. I like it.
So check that out.
Let's do it.
We're going to end the new release portion of the program with one of my favorite albums of the year, and I think will be a favorite album. Yeah,
come on,
I love it. This is Mary Timony or Timony. Timony. This is Untamed the Tiger. You will know her. She's been in a bunch of great bands. She was in one of the first big all-female groups out of DC, Autoclave. Then she was the vocalist for Helium.
Okay.
And then she had Wild Flag. And of late, X-Hex, phenomenal three-piece all-female band, a great singer, terrific guitar player. And
today's going to get expensive.
Yeah, and for 30 years, she's been like one of the most influential like female rockers. Every band she's been in has been great.
It's cool cover. I love the album.
She had a record that came out in 2002 that was a huge record called Mountains, which is a really influential record. That's a lot darker. I think by her being in these really kind of rockin', upbeat bands, that's kind of informed her newer solo stuff, and it's a little lighter. I love it.
So that for the drop listener, if you had to make a comparison, this album sounds like.
Ooh.
And if it's her own thing, that's fine.
It's kind of her own thing, but I mean, it's indie. It's there's no signal processing on the guitar. It's just like her kind of playing these sinewy. Yeah, that's not you. He's like, I just got my wallet. There's more money in my wallet now because there's no signal processing on the guitar.
If Quinn likes it, get it. I'm just going to tell you that. You will not be sorry.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of archival
Please.
recordings.
Yes.
And what I mean by archival recordings, I mean not reissued old recordings, but stuff that has not previously been available. So this has been a best-selling series closely associated with Record Store Day. There's been several in this series, and this is the Motorhead, The Lost Tapes. The latest one is from Donington, and these are literally their sound man's cassette tapes from the soundboard this is Download Fest in 2008.
I think cassette tapes from the soundboard is where the phrase hit or miss came from.
Well, this series has been really good in the, where there might be shortcomings sonically, performance-wise. Nope. It is just ferocious all the time.
Yes, sir.
All the time. And,
yes, sir.
I like this. It's on motor tape.
It is on motor tape because it has the motor tape up here in the corner.
How cool is that, right?
This is crazy.
It's really good.
And if you don't know the Donington, so now here's my question. 2008. So did the old Castle Donington Festival become what is now the Download Festival?
I think that is right.
Because I remember 80s and early 90s, the big metal was always Donington. If you put Donington,
oh yeah,
that was the big deal.
Remember there was that Live at Donington import LP that just had a picture, an aerial picture from a helicopter
of the crowd.
With
yeah.
180,000 people.
Yeah. 180,000 metalheads going nuts in a field.
I can kind of hear Rainbow. Okay, our next archival piece. This is cool. This is this artist does box sets of his unreleased recordings. He takes care of he's got this NYA series, which is the Neil Young Archives, and this is he had a album 75 called Zuma. This is Duma. And so this is I don't know. Great cover art. This adds, I think, 7 tracks to the original recording, some which were re-recorded later for Rust Never Sleeps, like Powderfinger and Pocahontas, and but it's from the original sessions that they trimmed down to a single LP length. This is a record that was big.
A must for Neil Young fans.
Now here's
especially
the funny
if you
thing.
collect everything he. Talk to me.
So this record, we have sold it once or twice. There's a Spanish edition of the originally released in 1975 of this album that's only about 22 minutes long, because they cut the 13-minute Cortez the Killer from the record because he's a national hero in Spain.
True.
So they issued the LP out,
Interesting
without
fact.
that without that track, but he does it right. In this indie version, indie store edition, comes with a litho in it of the art as drawn by Neil Young, and record reviews on this thing are terrific.
I love Neil Young, but I really love Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Right, and this is that torn from the soul.
And
torn from the soul distort.
and if you guys
Paul with the soap bar pickups through Marshall.
like your amp speakers are going to explode or melt. And on rhythm guitar, for you guys that don't know, and I don't think these guys ever get shouted out. Frank San Pedro on rhythm, Billy Talbot is bass and vocals, and then Ralph Molina drums and vocals. So a little shout out to Crazy Horse.
Great band. And he always did such a good job of balancing like his raucous garage band with his sweet acoustic music. He had that yin yang going on so well. What
do you got?
We got some reissues. Can you believe there's a Grateful Dead reissue?
Shocking.
Come on. I mean, well, it is
Grateful Dead season.
It's the month. They just snuck it in before the end here.
So
this is Great Dick's Picks Volume 2, which it's kind of funny because this was originally issued in the late 80s, before the term Dick's
became popular.
Popular
before
for different reasons. And so this was their sound man that they recorded every show that they did, and this was the first volume of unreleased music that they put out. And these series were like now there's I don't know, they've got more live albums than have Blood Cells. But this was like the first big. This is the cream of the crop. These have never been on LP before. Limited editions of 3,500. They're all hand numbered. Get them while you can. They will be gone quickly. This is all stuff that was originally on CD, and I don't even think it made it to download, so you can just buy it on an LP now.
I love that.
And we're keeping the live rocking going. There's these guys. This was a record store day piece that is finally available again. This is the Right Here, Right Now, the 4LP live Van Hagar record, which I mean, people. There's always that dialogue about which version of the band do you like better? But I tell you, when you're listening to these guys play, you're not even thinking that all. You're just like, holy cow, this is like rock and roll pyrotechnics. Really great. And I've not been on LP for obvious reasons because it's so much content. You got to fit on 4 LPs,
and you get 3 bonus tracks.
You get 3 bonus tracks. So there you go. Some fans see what a 4 LP set costs, and this is what they want to do. Buy now and pay later.
Exactly right. It's a little pricey, but I mean, for what you're getting, if you're a Van Halen fan and you need it, we've got it. Come get it.
And let's keep rocking. Let's talk about like one of the coolest all-girl bands ever. This is the
For
Donnas.
sure.
This is the first time their early singles have been collected on LP. You know, they made a bunch of 7-inch singles for
Sub Pop, right? Were they Sub Pop?
They were on Lookout. They were also on Sympathy, I think.
Okay.
They were on a bunch of release singles on a bunch of different little labels. Just super cool band. Of course, they kind of hit it big when they signed with Atlantic, made the gold medal record. You still hear their songs licensed a bunch for like films and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific. Lead guitarist in this band, who I cannot recall her name. Phenomenal. And, you know, she's like disappeared from the plant, like no socials, no web presence, no website. She doesn't play music anymore. It's just
what's going on here?
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at that.
Something we should know?
No,
I don't know.
I think they just really like Kiss.
Okay.
Which is not uncommon. And
No.
they cover Alice Cooper, a lot of covers on here. Oh, yes, there you go. The Donnas do Kiss. But great. I got to see them live a bunch at Fitzgerald's at the old Polish dance hall. And,
I had a lot of my friends that really liked them, and I managed to miss them every single time.
Oh yeah, they were a great live band, and I'll tell you, man, they really could work a crowd, and they're one of those groups they developed as you're supposed to, and then at the moment they arrived on the major labels, they delivered like their best records, and then
that was it.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay, and that's it for the reissue part of the program. But we get to talk about RSD Essentials. Record Store Day's coming up. It's on 420 this year, y'all, and in April. But until then, here's a bunch of great records that they can't fit into the Record Store Day actual day schedule, so we get to sell them early. These are available at fine independent retailers wherever you go. First up is the General Patton versus the Executioners. Of course, Mike Patton, everybody knows from Faith No More and Mr. Bungle and Tomahawk. This record has never, ever, ever been on vinyl before. CD era, him duking it out with one of the best hip hop collectives of the time, and fans have been looking for this. We think this is going to pop pretty big, and it's on, I think, silver vinyl, fitting the Silver Streak vinyl. Silver Streak vinyl.
Okay, come get it.
And they have this incredibly ardent, loyal fan base that show up anytime there's any Mike Patton related
for sure
material. You can get that. And we've been talking about these guys a lot lately. This is of course, this record originally released
greatest
in
thrash metal
1986
album ever.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
In my humble opinion,
it's Rain and Blood, y'all. Slayer, and this is on, I think, Splatter Blood vinyl. They didn't,
Did we talk about the reunion last week?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
So the indie LPs, they've done a lot of the indie LPs have had a lot of different color variants, but not the major label records. So this is, I think, one of the first color variants you get on Splatter vinyl. And I mean, the picture on the back is like
look at
party.
They
with
were just
those
kids.
Guys. Yeah,
they were just a bunch of California kids playing that thrash metal.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite albums of all time.
I mean, and two, it's one of those records that, like, 3 months after it came out, wherever you went, your friends were playing that in their cars or like in their jam box or whatever, and you wanted to party with those guys, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, there was a lot of pot was smoked.
Check it out. They were way ahead of the curve of the distribution of Stella Artois in the United States.
Right before. Yeah, I wonder if that's here, if they took the picture overseas.
It's got to be. In
Europe. And of course, production by Mr. Rick Ruben.
Oh yeah. And another bona fide greatest album ever within its genre.
Yeah.
Gets the Record Store Day exclusives. Exclusive color variant and only available at indie record stores. This is the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, 1966. One of the greatest records ever, considered a masterpiece by pretty much almost everyone that unless they don't like the Beach Boys. Sure. And this is on a Coke bottle, which is one of the cooler color variants, I think. So you get Coke bottle clear. Yeah. Vinyl. And this is the stereo version.
So originally released when? Did you say?
1966.
Yeah.
And here's the kooky thing about this record. Now it's an accepted masterpiece of a record, right?
Sure.
Guess what? At the time, it's kind of considered a flop.
It did not. Yeah.
It did not do that well.
People were waiting for Surf and Safari 2 or, you know.
So you had Wouldn't It Be Nice? You know, huge single, but then Caroline Knows, the B-side's like, what are they talking about here?
Yeah.
And then Sloop John B kind of saves it, but it did not go as deep as the other records. And I think for their more, and of course they predated the Summer of Love. You know, 67 is when all this would have been much more accepted, which Good Vibrations was. But they were kind of ahead of their time as far as a studio creation and something that was conceptual and cool. But you know, it's got to hear music. If you've never listened to this album, you owe it to yourself to hear it, because sonically it's one of the greats. And and there you go. Available at indie record stores on a special
come get it, people.
Color variant.
Come get it.
And
while it's hot.
Where's that creaking sound of the vinyl vault being open?
Vinyl vault time, baby.
It's me. I'm in the vinyl vault, and I picked a record that you and I both like. We were talking about we're going to go full circle here. We're going to go Monty Python all the way back to the beginning of this episode to talk about. When you got here, you were saying, "Oh yeah, that record totally reminds me of the first releases of Fay Webster's new album." Yes, this is the amazing and it's more popular than ever 1985 album from Kate Bush. This is Hounds of Love, and we can talk about the merits of the music. There's also a little more academic stuff to talk about here, but you know, I mean, this is again masterpiece record, one of the greatest records ever released. And of course, Running Up That Hill. Thank you, Stranger Things. I mean, of course. I mean, relaunch. I mean, it was. I can remember being at home and my son, who was, you know, like just discovering like what kind of music, and he's playing Running Up That Hill. I'm like, how do you know this song? Yeah. He's like, oh, it's in that Stranger Things. I'm like, oh no. And I was like, oh, this is gonna pop. And you know, of course, you know, I mean, this was like, and you know, how many, and the video as well, but like how many teenage boys at the time watching MTV were in love with this woman? You know, I mean, a complete package. Well, just classic, beautiful, and that voice. And I've always felt like her music had like a distinct connection to Pink Floyd. It was super. The visuals, and everything. I was like, never put that together. Like a Pink Floyd thing, 100%. But and the lyrics were so weird. Everything about it was compelling. Hey, I'm just trying my best out there, and dialing that in. And you know, this record just connected with so many people. It had 4 huge hits in the UK, like stayed on the album chart here. And the cover. So she did and then there was, after this was the collaboration with Peter Gabriel, right? Yes. Okay. That's right. Don't give up. So the reason, but here's, so we talk about the music, like you have to own this record. This record's great, but this is what's fun about it. Check it out. This record is still, this is 1985, right? Okay. This record is still in the shrink wrap. Okay. It's got the hype sticker telling you that it contains the song that you saw on MTV, the hit single, and that it's on special marbleized limited edition. And that's how it came out in 85? In 85, the first edition. They did do like a black vinyl edition for some retailers, but generally, if you bought the first edition of it, and I'm showing you this because other than old jazz records, this was one of the first colored vinyl. We talk about them all the time. Yeah. So they're everywhere. All right. But this was one of the first colored vinyl, and it's marbled gray with flecks of pink in there, kind of to reflect the sleeve art. Nuts. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so if you got one of those, hang on to it, because they just like it. They acclimated in price by about double. And 85. And guys, here's the interesting thing. There's no co-writing credits. Everything written by Miss Kate Bush. Yep. So that's our see that. That is a great vinyl vault. So I have the vinyl vault for next week. I know what it is. I just have to make sure that I leave the house when I'm coming here with it in my hand. Okay. You can, because half the time I'm either on the freeway or walking through the door, and I'm like, we're rooting for you. You can do this. Yeah, it's one simple task. I have to return. I've gotten away from this, but I used to have not that long ago routine of having Post-its all over the bathroom. You know, so when you shave in the morning, I can't relate to that
They're
system
everywhere.
at all. No, I mean, we're both obsessive list makers, are we not?
Yes.
So there we go.
I've got lists everywhere.
That's what we got.
All right, that is it. Don't forget a great in-store Cactus music right here on this stage. You get free St. Arnold's. Come get you some Aussie grooves, some Aussie vibes this weekend. I'm Ruben. That's Quinn. We'll see you. Peace out. Later. Bye-bye.